Welcome back, friends. If you don't know, my name is Janet. Today we're going to watch season 2 episode 4 of Black Sails. Flint is surprising me. He really is. So far the story and the plot has been super interesting to watch, and I love seeing the different dynamics between the characters and how they keep switching up their agreements, and it's just been a wild roller coaster and I'm really loving it. So let's go ahead and start episode 4. Oh, I feel bad for her. I feel like she's just been thrown into something that she's completely unaware of. How scary. Oh my gosh. You do what you have to in starvation, that's for sure. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Until you, your men, and that structure are rendered fully incapacitated. Until dawn, Captain James Flint.
Ooh. This is a declaration of war.
Get him out of here.
I always say this, but if only they can sit down and have a conversation.
No, somehow Flint knew exactly where to sit to take advantage.
Oh, because they have Captain Hornigold. They don't like her. It's true. How likely is it that Charles's crew will see them together and see that as a positive sign? I don't think it'll be likely at all. I think that he'll view it as a weakness, that he'll do anything for her always, no matter what she does to him.
Look at me.
Tell me this isn't part of your plan to push me into the sea.
Look at me. I had no idea Hornigold would be so fucking petty as to divulge secrets about its weaknesses. Risk its destruction for his own personal gain.
I told you what I would do with challenges like this. You doubt me.
No. I have faith in your ability to formulate a plan more effective than this.
Well, yeah. All right, let's go. Let's see what we can come up with.
After we secure possession of what's left of the fort, how long will it take you and your men to rebuild what we've destroyed?
That's another point.
Before the batteries are restored.
Because if they destroy the fort, they'll not only be weak towards Vain attacking again somehow, right? And taking over it again, or anybody else for that matter can take over it. If I'm not mistaken, the fort's kind of a crucial part of the infrastructure, of the island. Oh, it's risky.
It is a risk, but a relatively short window in the grand scheme.
A short window that coincides with a British warship sitting at anchor 40 miles from here.
Exactly. It's not like there's that many Spanish warships floating around.
I feel forced to ask. If the sun rises tomorrow and Vain has not ceded to our demands, then what will you do?
Oh my goodness. This is so complicated because obviously the Urca is still in sights, right? Like that's still a goal, an objective that we have to have at this point to make the losses worth it and to rebuild within the ship. Oh goodness gracious.
I was told it was urgent.
He said he wanted to see you right away. It's all right. It has nothing to do with you and I.
When did the you and I even start? That's what I want to know.
Lord Alfred Hamilton, my father. I'm concerned about how he'll receive one particular part of it. I have come to trust you.
Aww. He's with your wife.
When my father arrives, I intend to propose something to him which could be very dangerous politically. I want you to try to talk me out of it.
Oh, good man. Good man. That's a wise man. You always have to look at something from two different perspectives. It's the mature and appropriate way to respond. Or to think. My tongue is tying today. I'm so sorry. Is there regret? Is there awkwardness? What happened? Did two tango more than the third?
Spanish warship anchored in the bay. Word is it's Flint's crew sailing, huh?
Flint's sailing a Spanish warship.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try and lure some of them in.
Jack could be the element of surprise that we need, that Vane needs to keep the fort.
Did Flint get the Urca gold?
I don't know.
Can we see Jack and Vane combo here? I mean, Flint united with Hornigold. I feel like Vane needs to seek some alliances here as well.
That warship is fully outside our field of fire. Make sure Flint knows the moment he fires those guns, her body gets dumped over the wall.
They don't respect her at all.
Accuse me, challenge me, fight me, or shut the fuck up about it.
See, the thing with Vane is that so far it seems to me like he's not afraid of a challenge. Like he'll honestly say it. All right, so challenge me. But Flint sees a challenge, and I feel like he's threatened by it a little bit more. He's less face to face about it. Honestly, I think it would be really cool if Flint and Vane got on board with the same idea of transforming the island together. That would be amazing. I think two powerful captains working together would really make a difference. Would that happen? highly doubtful, but...
Captain Vane has issued a reply to your ultimatum. It's being read aloud on the beach as we speak.
Oh, Jesus. What is it? What's the reply? The official reply?
Give us the room.
I have as much...
Now, please.
I think the unknown mystery woman has a role in this. Because if he uses her as a tool, because, okay, like we know the fort is crucial to the protection of the island. If they destroy the fort, the island is going to be vulnerable for some time, right? If Vane already sent the ransom and she is not delivered on time, or at least he can fake it, right? He can tell them that he sent the ransom already, and she's not delivered on time, then they can expect the Lord to retaliate. Now, if you have official forces to retaliate from a kidnapping while the fort is down, this is going to be a problem for everybody, because Flint has a Spanish warship. Like, this is a political nightmare. Plus, they won't even be able to keep the Urca gold. Like, where are they going to store it? So, yeah, that would be a really cool move.
And you must ask yourselves who represents the greater threat to your interests. My men in this fort, or the madman on the water?
Oh.
Though you conveniently omitted the part about how you prepared to use a Spanish warship to annihilate the fort to achieve that end.
Your refusal to acknowledge the urgency of the situation gave me no choice but to...
What do you want? Disregard our partnership.
It's
Ignore
true.
the resources and influence and trust I have invested in you.
It's true. But it affects her personally and business-wise.
You want him out? Here's how you do it. You move this ship. You allow him to save face on this score. And then you and he and I sit down at a table and we sort it out.
I'm kind of down for that plan.
And without this position, the decision is his and his alone.
Because he's fighting for captaincy too.
Not with what's at stake.
You are talking about rendering this bay, rendering NASA completely unprotected.
I know. And I suggest you talk to him. Because one way or another, he is leaving that fort. And right now, my way is the only way that I can be certain of that.
I don't see how trust can be held with Hornigold or Flint. Between Hornigold, Flint, Mrs. Guthrie, Eleanor, Vane. So many betrayals have already happened. It's difficult to see how these relationships will move forward in the future after all of this, to be honest with you.
My name is Charles Vane, and you are now my guest. As such, no harm will come to you as long as you do exactly as I say.
The other one. He said no talking.
Captain Lowe.
Yeah, well, he was a psychopath, so.
Cut his head off.
And we're gonna have a,
Good.
what do they call it? Where the prisoner falls in love with the captive.
What is the total value of his estate?
Honestly, I don't know. Haven't seen him in years.
Are you close with him?
What? You're asking if he loves me.
Yeah, I mean, she could either lie here or tell the truth. I don't know.
He'll pay you what you ask.
Then write the following. You're a prisoner of the pirate captain Charles Vane. Your ransom, should your father ever wish to see you alive again, is £250,000. If I sense a trap or my demands are unmet, I'll kill you and throw your body into the bay.
Which is crazy. But I feel like she's capable enough to figure something out. I don't know. I like to see another character spice things up even more, which is crazy. Her response to the whole "does my father love me" was interesting. We'll see if it's true. I have doubts now. We know how Eleanor's father kind of views her. That might be a universal trait.
She's running the letter now. I want it on its way to Charlestown before whatever's going to happen here tomorrow happens.
Exactly.
Right.
It seems his pronouncement has had the intended effect.
Well, yes, because the fort protects the island.
The man becomes 60 and the fight ahead only gets bloodier.
And Captain Vane does have respect and reputation to his name.
Can I assume when you say you'll go to the beach to make this appeal, you mean me?
Why do you think they went up that hill? If we're to stop any more men from joining his side, isn't it a prerequisite that we try and understand the thinking of the men who've already joined him?
Sorry, are you asking my opinion?
You are two opposite men.
Well,
both perspectives are important.
their fear of losing the fort being greater than their fear of Vane remaining in it. But then again,
Very good point.
perhaps it's just them expressing their opinions about you.
Also a good point.
So you think that they see me as the villain in this particular story?
Just like the viewer.
Explain their decision. Yes.
I like that.
And you?
I see you as the agent most likely of securing my share of the gold on that beach. What do you think about it? It bothers you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it
What do you
does. Well, if he wants to
The
be...
things you've done. My God.
Yeah, that's interesting because Billy Gates, he says he has remorse for these things, but we've never actually seen it. And I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to really rely on the actors expressing what they needed to express. Here we saw his facial expression change and actually show that it was bothering him, just like what Silver is saying. And that's interesting because this is just the people's opinion. That bothered him, but not having to kill Gates and Billy. But again, I know he said it does bother him. It's just that he didn't show it as much. You would think he would still have the idea of the bigger picture here and bulldoze through his negative feelings and thoughts, right? Anyways.
It must be awful being here.
To recruit men for the expedition, to procure supplies and to ferry them, but it will be the approach to dealing with the Nassau pirates by which the entire plan will be judged.
I feel that's where we're strongest. Public trials and hangings of roughly a dozen of the ringleaders.
I understand that's the expected proposal, the safest one, but it's not the one I would like to make.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That is a bold move, especially back then.
You want to pardon them?
Yes.
But I think that's a wise move too. That shows a sign of good faith as a new leader of the area. It gives the pirates a second chance to
It
adapt.
needs labor, it needs men and women vested in its interests. Don't these men fit that description? Couldn't they become part of the solution?
Exactly.
You need to answer that.
Just answer me this, would it work?
To pardon a traitor is the act of a coward. Now, I only know what I've heard of your father, but if half of what I've heard is true, he's not a man one wants as an enemy.
Oh.
If you're asking, my advice to you is that this is a maneuver only to be approached with utmost caution. I suggest you forget you ever thought of it.
That is so interesting to see Flint in such a perspective.
Swear to Christ Almighty, it wasn't the screams that haunt me most. It was their laughter. The only one escaped.
So what do you make of this business between Captains Flint and Vain? Thank you. Lovely performance.
Oh. Smart. Silver's always smart. He is so cunning. He's very fun to watch.
The man out of the water, up by the North Point. We were just about to send for one of you. He's one of yours.
Walrus, man. Is it? Is it? Yes. Oh boy.
Captain Flint wasn't amenable to
We're in
your suggestion.
trouble.
He won't listen to me. But perhaps he would listen to an appeal from you.
If you believe anyone can make him see anything, you must not know him very well at all.
I'm sorry. I can't help you. You weren't here the last time they came. They burnt the huts on the beach and then the structures in town. And when the whole of Nassau was a smoking wreck, they turned their eye inland.
I don't know if Mrs. Barlow can actually do anything in this case. Because while Flint does have a weakness for her, I think his main priority and objective is still the island, which shows you how important in tunnel vision he is, to be honest with you. But I do think it's too risky to destroy the fort, but I think also Flint isn't calculating the fact that they have a lord's daughter. And so for him, the risk is a little bit less. Like someone may or may not come. And for Vane and Eleanor, it's, hey, someone will come.
You asked me for my help yesterday with Mr. Underhill. I gave it my best efforts. You asked me today again for my help, but I'm sorry.
You don't give a shit about the rest of us, fine.
Yeah. I don't think she cares too much about the life on the island.
At least try. But you who have enabled him, encouraged his violence, you ask if I care about him. Get out of my house.
I can see your point. I mean, Mrs. Barlow is there, living unhappily for Flint still, even though she's fighting to get out, right?
It would appear your reconciliation with Captain Vane has borne fruit. Did you know? Before she opened the door.
No, I didn't know.
Not once a night did you so much as look in my direction. The conflict within her, I had it under control. Right until the moment you walked in on her and me. A state of denial until she finally makes a choice.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Between you and I.
I think Max is very well aware. Yeah, I think it's true.
Anne and I have been by each other's side since she was 13 years old. You've shared a bed with her for a week.
I think Max is going to take the loss on this.
I understand. I wouldn't get too comfortable, right you?
And what if I can get you back on the water with a crew?
In exchange for what, Anne?
Mr. Featherstone, been a regular for months now. Put my tongue in his bum, he'd tell me anything. He's looking to move. Said the men were split badly over the mess on the beach.
And we have a plan to sway him and his men to our camp.
I'm going to fuck the living shit out of him.
Tells him you would do anything he asked in that moment. Anything at all without hesitation.
This
the story you tell him
brothel
about when you were a little
could
girl,
become like the CIA.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Jack's like, wow.
No.
Who knew?
No, I don't think so.
His realization was funny.
We're doing wrong.
He can't be on the ship right now. The captain is holding things together with both hands.
Poor Billy. I'm so glad you're alive, though. Oh, I feel like everything's pain.
Gates.
Oh, he doesn't know. Oh, he's gonna be so mad. This is honestly, if Billy gets well enough to join Vane, oh my god. It's gonna be crazy. Billy for me was a good prospect for a great captain. The next generation, so to speak. And I think this is just only gonna fuel him.
Do you think she can do it?
I think I have underestimated my last hope for a while, given the week I've been having.
I've put a lot of bodies in the ground for you, haven't I?
Excuse me?
Didn't always agree. But I did it. I don't think the night you had last night comes even close to something to bitch about. I know she's dangerous.
Okay, so she's aware.
I'm asking you to do this for me.
Okay.
I'm asking you to watch my back on the other side of that door.
You know what?
'Cause I know as long as you are, there ain't shit she can do to get between us.
This is very, very good open communication between these two. And I think that's what's made their bond so strong. They both are well aware of what's going on. All three of them, as a matter of fact. good to see that Anne actually does have her eyes open. She just feels like she can't do anything about it, but she's asking to lean on Jack.
Mr. Featherstone will announce to his shipmates tomorrow that he has joined a new crew. Your crew.
Wow.
In addition to these new recruits, you would be granted command of their ship as well. Congratulations, Captain.
I don't know. It cannot be. I just don't think it's going to be a smooth transition. I don't know. I don't know what Anne and Jack are going to do with Max. Like, Max is right. There is going to be a breaking point. But she's so useful and dangerous.
The captains I've spoken with are on firm agreement with our position. Support is in our favor, though division amongst the remaining crews is rampant.
I want to know what we'll be facing if we go down this road.
Roughly 65 men in the fort, plus minus 10. We bring to bear 90 men on our own, plus 50 pledged
wow,
sister crew.
That's actually
on rough
quite a bit.
terrain, and for no illusions about the blood that will be spilled on.
I feel like Flint's doubting himself right now.
About the pirate raiders of Nassau.
I want to put them to work.
What are you talking about, Thomas?
Oh, he wants to give him a second chance.
I intend to secure them pardons. A blanket amnesty for any man who will accept it.
I agree, but this was revolutionary back then, especially for the lords.
What a piece of work you are.
This is the solution most likely to lead to our desired result. It also has the virtue of being the right thing to do.
And that is the biggest difference. Thomas is always thinking of the right thing to do, while his father and everyone else in Whitehall is thinking of how to move only themselves forward, if that makes sense.
Am I right to assume that a proposal such as this would
Don't look at him, talk to me.
My son is self-righteous, but he's not stupid. If I were a rival of this family, I would be shouting from the rooftops that any man who proposes to pardon a traitor in times such as these is himself a traitor.
Sins your father will not forgive your sins.
I don't want to hear it!
I know you don't.
That was interesting. Kudos to Thomas for standing his ground.
Am I to assume by your silence that you're in agreement with this proposal?
What are you gonna do?
Lieutenant. You have done enough to damage the good name of this family. I would ask that you keep both your mouth and your legs firmly shut.
I support it.
I can't believe he said that.
I find his intent to be good and true, and I find yours wanting, sir.
His weakness has always been
my findings
Mrs. Follow.
And now I think it's time you left, sir.
Whenever someone threatens her image. What a wonderful dinner.
Did you just ask my father to leave his own house?
Yep.
Right now, he will be dispatching messages to the Sea Lords, the Southern Secretary, his friends in the Privy Council.
People can say what they like about you, but you're a good man. And someone should be willing to defend it.
This is so heartwarming but conflicting at the same time, because I mean, I don't know, like these two got together. Does Thomas know? I guess that's the question. Does he know, or does he care? Does he accept it? I don't know.
I've seen you at my service. Vile as the act was, perhaps it was born of a misguided desire on your part to change your ways.
It's a heck of a start.
Why am I also hearing that you've been receiving Mr. Guthrie's daughter?
You don't understand.
I understand more than you think, ma'am.
Oh no, you don't. You really don't.
I've been to town today. Were this not monstrous enough, talk is it was all in service of stealing a young girl intended to be ransomed to her father. None other than the governor of the Carolina colony. Fearing man hundreds of leagues from here is unsafe from their brutality. These are Miss
She didn't know about that.
Lord Ashe. The governor in Carolina, it is Lord Peter Ashe, is it not? Abigail. Her name was Abigail Ashe.
We've talked about virtue and the right. We've talked and talked.
God.
And now perhaps
What is the
time to do
significance
that
of
which we've
Abigail?
only spoken. But it is a long road, and I will need your help to see it through.
I don't think they're willing to put up their entire livelihoods and reputations at stake. That reputation was a huge, tremendous deal back then. I don't know. I don't know what Thomas can do if he has no support and no one's willing to stick their heads out.
How can I help? Lieutenant McGraw? My good friend, Lord Peter Ash.
No! He wanted to do something good, and yet these pirates are the very ones that kidnapped his daughter. My God, how everyone's entangled. Yeah, Eleanor, I also need a drink. Cheers. Pirates, let me tell you.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, good gracious.
Sign. It was time to come and see you.
Boom.
You're so close to having everything you've wanted. I came to help you get it.
I don't believe you. I don't believe this man. They have a very confusing relationship.
I remember I had never seen a structure like it. It seemed indestructible.
Richard Guthrie sat on the throne of commerce when I arrived. Made men rich, and his daughter took his place, made Nassau strong. I wonder how many know that there was one man standing behind them.
I see.
What would you do?
So, if I'm understanding correctly, somehow Thomas was the driving force or the support for Richard Guthrie, and now, well, not actively Eleanor, right? But like basically was the push to start all of this. And Flint, in a way, I feel like Flint, in a way, is just carrying out Thomas's legacy. And that's why he's so tunnel visioned about it. Because, like you said, someone needs to defend that he's a good man. Huh. Yeah, so the complicated... The relationship between him and Mrs. Barlow definitely is complicated, to say the least. Wow.
I fear that to take that fort will be to divide this island in the most dangerous way.
I think so too.
I fear that if we go down that road, by the time Spain or England arrive, they will find their job done for them. I would teach myself to see Captain Vain as an unfortunate but unavoidable change in our landscape.
Like I mentioned, if these two can join forces in some way, shape, or form, it would just reinforce the power of Nassau. I truly believe. I truly believe this. It is a difficult thing to do, but pride must be set aside for the greater good. If not, they will leave themselves weak to outside forces. Or Nagot's gonna be pissed.
What say you, Captain?
Ugh.
Fire.
Oh my God. That was not what I was expecting. I'm disappointed in Flint. Alrighty guys, that was episode 4 of Black Sails. Oh my God. It is so complicated, and I love it so much. Like, it's been a while since I've seen a plot that actually, it just makes sense, you know, in a way. Like, it's not the views and the opinions and what these characters, like their motivations, is not something that's completely unfounded. And so I know we've talked about this before. I know you guys have said this before. I think we're all in agreement how each character's story is just so fun to watch and to see how it plays out and how these characters evolve and interact with each other. And it just feels real. It's so interesting. I really love it. It's just fun. It's just really fun. I'm so into it. I'm like, now seeing Flint's background and seeing his relationship with Thomas. Definitely Thomas is a very big influence towards Flint, obviously. I think Flint has so much respect towards Thomas and his ideas, and so much admiration there. I think there's so much admiration there that he really wants to make this better world for Thomas, right? I don't think Eleanor really can just like Miss Barlow says, like, you have no idea the demons behind Flint, and it's true. It's true, but also each character has their own personal demons that others don't really know about. So it's just really cool for us, the viewer, to see that. And I thought specifically in this episode, one of my favorite parts was when Flint was asking Silver, well, what do you think? But the POV was Flint. It was almost as if Flint was sitting in front of us and then asking us, what do you think? I get Flint's ideas, his end goal, and I do agree with it that they could make Nassau into a better and safer place for everyone around. But you know, it's just really hard for me to get over the whole Gates and Billy thing. So I understand certain things must be done for the end goal. That's why I guess that's why it's so fun to watch Black Sails, because it's true. It's true. Certain things have to be done to get the desired goal. But it's been fun watching. It's been really, really fun watching. You guys let me know. I love reading your thoughts. Always, always, always. I appreciate you watching this episode with me. If you would like to see the video in full, my Patreon will be linked below. And lastly, if you like this video, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.